Hello everyone, I got the idea for this video from James Griffith. I have done a fair amount of traveling both here in Finland and outside of Finland. And let's start with the story of how visiting a town may not be a simple thing. And let's start with the town here in western Finland, west coast of Finland. It's a town called Pori. And the town is here. I don't know if you can see that. And my first visit there was, I think, in 1993. I went there to see an ice hockey game, and I went there with the fan club of my favorite ice hockey team. So we went there by bus. We went straight to the ice hall, and after the game we went straight back home. So I didn't really see the town at all. Next time was about 8 years later, when me and my brother were traveling here in Finland. We went to Pori, but we stayed there only to eat, and then my brother had a couple of beers in a pub. So again, I didn't really see the town at all. The next visit was again about 8 years later, 2009. I went to see Brian Setzer Orchestra, who was playing at a festival there, but the festival was like at the side of the town. So again, we just drove there, saw the gig, and drove straight back home, only stopping by to fill up the tank. So again, I didn't really see anything. Next time was about 2-3 years later. I went to spend a weekend in Yyteri, and we always say that it's Yyteri in Pori. But when we went there, it turned out that Yyteri was actually about 20 kilometers outside of Pori. So again, I didn't really see anything from Pori. And again, it took like maybe 2 or 3 years later until I finally went there to spend a weekend there. And that's when I bought my first records from there, and one of them was George Harrison, Early Takes Volume 1. I have been there since once. It was 2-3 years ago. I just told my brother that we have a day off, so anywhere you want to go, and he said that let's go to Pori. So we went there and hung out there for a day. My first proper visit outside of Finland was in 1989. By that time I had been to Stockholm about 10 to 15 times, but I didn't really consider those to be like a proper traveling. So the first real traveling was in 1989 when I went to London. And after that, for the next several years, not exclusively, but almost exclusively, I only visited London. So by now I have visited London more times than any other town, except for Stockholm and Tallinna. For this video, I went through these books where I have kept the record of my record purchases, and they brought out several surprises. And one of them was how many vinyl albums I have bought from London, because like I have told you, I keep my CDs in the order of purchase, so it's really easy to remember that. Just looking at over there, I can see that I have bought those records from Amsterdam. But I don't keep my vinyls in similar order, so it's very difficult to remember which record I bought from where. So it turned out that I have bought a lot more records from London that I actually remembered. One example being 1996. I only remembered buying Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2 from London during that trip. But going through these books, it turned out that I have bought a lot more, and one of them was PJ Harvey, To Bring You My Love. Okay, then there are countries from which I have only bought one album. One of them is Greece. I have visited Greece twice, and this is the only album that I have bought from Greece. This is Iggy and Stooges' Raw Power, and I bought this from the island of Kos. I remember it being very small record store there. Okay, Spain. I have bought a lot more records there, but I have only bought one vinyl album, and I bought this one, Buckingham Nicks from a flea market in Barcelona. And I was lucky because there was a guy who had, I think he had 2 crates of records, and there was nothing really rare there except for this one, and this one was among the most cheapest records, not the cheapest but among the cheapest records. And when I asked him for a discount, he gave me a discount, so I think I paid like 15 euros for this one. And by the way, there was a fantastic street for record shoppers. Just I don't remember the name of the street, but it was just off the Ramblas, and it had like record store after record store after record store. And my favorite there was one called Revolver. Great street for record shopping. Again, my first visit to USA was in 2002, and I bought 49 CDs, 1 cassette and 1 vinyl album, and the vinyl album was this one, Elvis live on stage in Memphis, which I bought appropriately enough from Memphis. And I visited these music gates, but I didn't remember to take a photograph of me or of my brother, which goes to some way to show how few photographs we used to take. These days we do take more photographs, but it still isn't that much. Next record is the only record I bought from said country, and I think that I am the only one in VC who has bought record from this country, with the possible exception of René, who I remember that he was from Spain, so he might have visited this country. And country is called Andorra, and Andorra is you see that tiny country there between Spain and France. And the record that I bought from there was Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. Okay, next, the only vinyl album that I have bought from Denmark. I have visited Copenhagen twice. On a first visit I bought 4 CDs, but I didn't buy any vinyl albums. And on the second visit I only bought this 1 vinyl album. And the reason was that I took a very limited amount of money with me, because it was supposed to be that this trip was sort of like an appetizer first, and after that we would have gone to another, like the main event, so to speak. But for whatever reason, the second trip never happened. I don't remember why. And reading through these books, it turned out that this visit was in August, which was a surprise, because I remember that it would have happened in May, but it was in August. So yeah, the album that I bought was Wings Over America. Yeah, the only final record that I have bought from Denmark. Okay, 2016, when I visited Canada and USA, I did a video on my purchases, but I didn't include everything that I bought. I don't remember exactly how many I left outside, but this was one that I didn't show then. This is God Bless the Go-Go's, their reunion album from 2001, and I bought this secondhand from a store in Toronto. Okay, let's go to the other side of the world. And when I go traveling, sometimes I make an effort to find record stores, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have even like knowingly tried to stay away from record stores. But there's places where I have like never would have expected to find a record store, and Malaysia was one of those. I was in Kuala Lumpur in 2012, and I bought this Natalie Merchant Motherland. And as you can see, there's this sticker which has sort of a hologram on it. They had because this was shrink wrap, they had several different kind of stickers here to prove that this is a genuine copy. Because I spoke with the store clerk, and he said that the majority of the records sold there are bootlegs. So this one was this was Tower Records, and they sold only genuine copies there. And this copy actually is from Germany. I think all of their records were import records there. Okay, let's come back to Europe. And this is Blue Valentine by Tom Waits. And I bought this one from Innsbruck in Austria. And the reason why I wanted to show this one is because this was 5 years ago, and this was my longest trip here in Europe. We traveled 10 days across Central Europe. We went to 6 different towns in 4 different countries. And now this summer we will do our longest trip, which is similar to this one. We will be 14 days across Southern Europe. We will be visiting 5 different countries and 9 or 10 different towns. One of the towns has not been decided yet. We will decide whether or not we will visit that town once we get to Geneva in Switzerland. And that was 10, and now for the bonus track. I bought this album from a town called Savonlinna, which is here in eastern Finland. And this is Ted Nugent. I bought this record. This was a reissue, new unused shrink wrap album. As you can see, the sleeve is absolutely perfect. So I came home, and next day or whenever it was, I started to play this album, only to discover that the album inside was not Ted Nugent. It was Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks self-titled debut. So I tried to call the store to get my money back or some kind of a refund, but there was only somebody, some young guy, and he said that he cannot do anything about it, that I have to try and call the store owner. So I tried calling there a couple of times during the next week or 2, but I never reached the owner. So in the end I just gave up and kept the record. So have I bought this from Savonlinna or not? Because on the inside is the actual Ted Nugent album, because the following year I went to Stockholm where I bought the actual copy. The sleeve is from Savonlinna, but the record inside is from Stockholm. And just to show you that I actually do have something from Savonlinna, this is a Buddy Guy collection, which I bought that same day. Okay, that's it for this time. Hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Bye.